channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
It is that time of the year again. NFL Thanksgiving special podcast. We do them every year, guys. We've been doing a podcast now for 6-7 years now. Every year we had a special Thanksgiving podcast. Just talked the 3 Thanksgiving games this week, and we got some big ones. Big games on the schedule, guys. Packers at Lions is the afternoon game. Big game there. In the NFC, Chiefs at Cowboys. Random Thanksgiving game. These teams only see each other every 4 years, but could be a good game, especially the Cowboys coming off that win over the Eagles. And then Bengals at Ravens, big divisional game. Probably a game they thought would be a little more important when they made this schedule, but Joe Burrow returned, so should be a fun one there. We got a Black Friday sale, guys, right now. 50% off all packages. Best time to get on board. It is a low volume week with just the NFL. PGA and UFC markets are off. However, attacking the Thanksgiving card, attacking the weekend card as well, possibly some NHL as well. Systemsportscapping.com or link.me/systemcapping. Everything's over there, guys. You guys know it. You know the drill. Subscriptions over there, records, resume, client comments, and more. Big pay-per-view card last week. The last UFC pay-per-view card is next week. Of the ever, not just a year, guys. It is the last of that last card, pay-per-view card of the year, but last pay-per-view card ever next week. So crazy times. We have the UFC off this week, so no UFC podcast. But yeah, pretty good card. We'll break that down next week. Looking forward to that. Never thought I would say that. Last pay-per-view card. Right? Interesting times. But you know, times change. And now Paramount going all in to get the UFC platform. Nice week last week in the UFC and also the NFL. UFC was almost perfect. We missed on a underdog that we took a shot on, but it was like a 5-1 card for myself and clients. Also podcast listeners, ton of winners given out last week. So hopefully you did tail. Obviously Armand by submission. I gave it out to you guys. Hopefully you did tail. Good plus money there. And then Ian Gary as well, right? Ian Gary by decision was always going to be the play. Last week in the NFL, another good week in the NFL, back-to-back good weeks for myself and clients. Podcast years always giving out free picks to you guys. Hopefully you did tail. I hit 2 teasers last week, a rare 2 teaser week. We hit both there. Also hit on one for the podcast. We're also on the Chiefs -2.5. I bought a rare point. Don't buy many points, but it was a smart decision. Chiefs won by 3. Line was 3.5. So if you bought a half, you pushed, but we bought a full point here to cash on that for a full unit. We also were on the Falcons game under 40.5. So clean in that market. Props, we did split going 2-2 with small profit. Survivor update, guys. Survivor update. We made it to Thanksgiving. If you make it to Thanksgiving in Survivor, you did well. Right? I have about 300 entries left in this one contest, in the Splash Sports contest. Looking pretty good. Obviously, got to try to avoid the upsets, right? Try to pick and avoid the upsets. That's what it is all about, Survivor. Obviously, we got caught with the one Bill over Miami upset for Circus Survivor. Hard to see that coming, guys. Hard to see that. I still think about it every day. I don't know how that happened. Crazy. But yeah, still got a shot in this one. You make it to Thanksgiving, you did well, but you're not getting paid. So let's get paid and go all the way. You got to pretty much go to week 17. I know there's some that could end earlier, like week 15, week 16 possible, week 17. You got to at least go to the last 2 weeks, in my opinion, in most of these bigger ones. Let's do a power rankings update, guys. Power rankings update. Rams stay on top. continue. They're by far the best team in the league, right? All the other teams, you kind of just moving around from second to fourth to fifth to sixth. Rams are just clearly the best team in the NFL right now. It's not even that close, to be honest. Pats, I got to put them there at 2. 10 wins, first team. They actually have some good wins as well. It's not just like they're beating. Yeah, they have an easier strength of schedule throughout the year, but they have some big wins in there as well. Bucks, Bills, off the top of my head. So, yeah, maybe not the toughest strength of schedule, but they deserve it. They deserve to be up there. Packers move up 3 with a big blowout win over Minnesota. Bears, 49ers, and Bills are looking in, guys. They're looking in. Bears, I'll tell you why I didn't put them in. Bears, points for, points against, they're negative. They haven't beat a good team yet. When they played the Ravens beat them by 16 without Lamar Jackson. So, yeah, do the math there, right? They beat the Steelers last week barely without Aaron Rodgers. They got a lot of injuries, too, on their defense. If they go in and beat Philly or even play Philly close, they may sneak in there. 49ers also, I could have put them in there as well, let's be honest. The last, 2 teams, Chiefs, Ravens, you could swap it with these 2 teams. I wouldn't call you crazy. Even though, Ravens won 5 games in a row, guys. I know they're not playing their best, especially on offense, but their defense is outstanding right now. It's playing really well. And they have a good win over the Bears in there as well, even though the strength of schedule where they're beating isn't great. Due to the run, they're on top of the AFC. That's why I put them there, not just because I'm a fan. And Chiefs, big win over the Colts. I had to put them back up there. I think they're a really good team, especially towards the end of the year. Let's get into these games, guys. Let's get into these games. Thanksgiving. Wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. To any, of course, American listeners. Podcast available, Spotify, Apple, and obviously on YouTube if you want to watch in video format. Lions minus 2.5 versus Packers in Detroit. Total 49.5. Big game to open up Thursday. 2 teams just haven't played their best football yet. They're getting wins, but they just haven't broken out yet. And maybe that's a good thing. You want to break out at the end of the season, not mid-season. Right? Packers have 2 bad losses on the year, guys. Play down a competition. Panthers and Browns. Both losses there. Lions have that Vikings loss, but, after that, nothing too bad. Eagles and Chiefs, right? So their losses at least been against fairly solid teams. Lions are coming off an ugly game versus the Giants, guys. It could have been a game they could have lost. But Gibbs said I wasn't having any of that. It was like a 70-yard run in overtime, even more maybe. And they get the win in OT and help my teaser as well. So I got a little lucky there, guys, to be honest. The Packers are coming off a beating of the Vikings. They look good. They are back-to-back wins. So Packers are coming into this game confident. Lions at home, though, guys, 4-1. Packers been good on the road, 3-1-1 on the road. Head-to-head as of late, 3-2 Lions last 5 games. Always a toss-up when these 2 teams play, guy, especially as of late. And the line tells you that minus 2.5. Love the Lions offense versus the Green Bay Packers defense matchup. This is great. This is going to be fun to watch. You got 4th in yards for the Lions, and then the Green Bay Packers 6th in yards allowed, and then 3rd in rushing for the Lions, and Packers right there top 5 against the rush. So going to be interesting to see how the Lions offense, if they can get going, because they have struggled at times. And last time Gibbs played Green Bay, he struggled as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one goes. Packers actually have shown they could win in Detroit, guys. They have won 2 of the last 3 meetings in Detroit. Keep that in mind. I do believe they're alive here, even though I am going to be looking at the Lions to pull this one out. Some injury concerns for both teams, but I do believe more concerning for the Packers. Obviously, wide receivers, they have guys injured every week on the Packers line, right? However, Josh Jacobs, is he playing? If he does play, I don't believe he's going to be 100%. He's questionable to play in this game. And guys, keep in mind, how healthy is Jordan Love? His shoulder is injured. So keep that in mind. It kind of has limited him a little bit. I do believe it is non-throwing shoulder. So keep that in mind. I do believe there is more concerns. Even though both teams are banged up, I do believe there's more concerns on the Packers side. I do like the Lions here more in the teaser market, which we'll talk about here shortly, but I am going to lean for them to win the game, and it's at home, right? If this game was in Green Bay, I probably would look the Green Bay way, to be honest. It's a Thanksgiving game, though. You expect Packers, both teams going to be up for it, but, Lions at home, Thanksgiving game. They didn't have to travel either. They were at home, right, when they played the Giants. Just little things like that is something that I would have to look at if I were going to play a side here. Total is tough. We know both teams can score. Lions are second in the NFL at 29 a game, and the Packers are 13th at 23. You have seen Packers at times just kind of lay an egg. One I can keep in mind, Cleveland, Carolina. So sometimes you just don't know, especially if Josh Jacobs is out and Love is injured. You don't know. It is possible that Green Bay cannot come out, but I wouldn't be surprised if they score 20 plus as well, right? So total, I'll definitely be staying away from, but I am going to play the Lions here for podcast purposes. I do believe they're in a good spot at home on Thanksgiving. Chiefs -3 at Cowboys. Total 51.5, a rare Thanksgiving matchup here. But I think it's a good one. Both teams coming off big wins, guys. Cowboys down 21, came back to beat the Eagles. And then the Chiefs got that big, important home win over the Colts at home. Two big games. Now, you could say, Cowboys, division game, letdown spot. They won that big game that they needed to for the division. Cowboys are actually still alive to win the division. Wouldn't that be something? If obviously Eagles would have to start losing some games. A couple concerns here that I have on both sides of the ball, I guess. But to start with the Chiefs, 1-4 on the road. I don't like to bet usually the Chiefs on the road. At home, if I can get on them at home, I'll always back them at home. What are they, 5-1 at home? So Chiefs at home is always something I can look at. On the road, a little difficult. And Cowboys been solid at home, 3-1 at home. So that's something worth mentioning here, guys. Chiefs aren't a team I love to back on the road. Chiefs primetime spot, Thanksgiving, something you do got to consider as well. Obviously, Dallas plays in this position a ton. They're used to it as well, but Andy Reid off a nice home win. They're obviously better than the Cowboys. Let's be honest, guys, in mostly everything, especially on the defensive side of the ball. That defense on Dallas is terrible, and it is getting a little better. And I'm saying a little better, like it used to be 32nd, 31st, 32nd in the league in a lot of categories. Now it's like 29th in total yards allowed, 22nd in rushing. It's not great, right? So that's why I believe the Chiefs could win this game. Their offense is fairly solid, top 10 in most stats, except their rushing game has taken a hit. Pacheco, not sure if he'll be back for this one, but, if you just have Kareem Hunt and that's all, even though I thought he ran fairly well last week, if you just have him, you're limited on what you can do, right? That's what Chiefs are missing, that running back. And Pacheco has been in the lineup all year. So tough loss for the Chiefs there. If they can get that run game going, I do believe they're going to be a threat moving forward. They're always going to be a threat, let's be honest. But without a run game, they're just limited. I think their defense is playing a lot better as well. We saw it against the Colts. They were able to limit Taylor. And that's what I said in the podcast last week. I gave you guys the Chiefs as well. I said if they can limit Taylor from Taylor not having a huge game, they win the game. And that's what they did. They limited Taylor from having a big game. And Daniel Jones, wasn't able to get going either. Chiefs looking at some of their stats here, 5th in total yards, which has been impressive. Mahomes has had some good games. Obviously, Rice got going last week. Love Rice. I think he's going to have a big game here against Dallas. So look at his props, even though tough to play over sometimes, right? You see Rice 74, 80 in that range. It's tough to pull the trigger on the over. I get it, especially when you have other mouths to feed there like Worthy, Kelsey, Brown. I get it. So I'll probably be staying away from that, but wouldn't be surprised if Rice has another big game here. Pickens, talk about big games, 9 for 146 last time. He's starting to look like the number one weapon there, guys. Lamb down game, 11 targets on 4 receptions last week. He was doing his diva stuff on the sideline as well. It's going to be something to watch moving forward. But yeah, you could see why this total's high. What's it, 51? 51 and a half. You could see why. So many weapons and studs on both sides of the ball here, guys. Dak Prescott, having another good year throwing the ball, at least in yards. He had over 340 last week against Eagles. So, yeah, I can definitely see why this game total is 51 and a half. I wouldn't be shocked if it gets over. Am I in the business a ton for betting, over 50s in that range? Over, not a lot. I'm more of an under better in totals, guys. But if I had to bet a total here, it would have to be the over. Now, Chiefs defense may be able to limit that passing attack from the Cowboys. That is possible here. Yeah, I like the Chiefs more in the teaser market. I'm going to actually take, if you can get Cowboys plus 3.5, I would lean that way. But I do believe the Chiefs find a way to get the win here. I think Cowboys, they have a shot to win the game. I do believe they have the shot to win the game. I can't count on that defense to play well. The Chiefs defense, I can. That's the thing. But then I look back at the 1-4 road record. They haven't been good on the road. Can you say they're due for a road win and it would make sense on Thanksgiving? Yes. So lean is going to be the Chiefs to win the game. If you can get plus 3.5 on the Cowboys, I think that's a good play here. Total, no really comment on it. Lean the over, but not something I'll be betting. AFC North battle here, guys. Bengals at Ravens. Ravens -7. Total 52.5. The 3-8 Bengals versus the 6-5 Ravens. Something I don't think anyone could have predicted, right? I thought the Ravens would probably be at least 8-3 right now. Let's say the Bengals around 500, maybe one game above 500. I didn't have high hopes for the Bengals coming to the season just due to their defense. It's so bad, guys. But then Burrow got hurt. You can't really predict that. Now, you could probably say, yeah, I thought Burrow would get hurt. I wouldn't. Sure, he gets hurt often, right? But hard to predict. Hard to predict that these records coming into this game. Now, Burrow will be back. How will he look? No one knows. Could be rusty. Looks like Higgins is going to be out for this game, guys. That's a huge loss. Concussion protocol, you're not going to pass it on a short week. I would be shocked if Higgins plays, and that's a big loss because Higgins has had some good games against the Ravens. Obviously, Chase going to have a good game. You can fire him up in all your fantasy and player prop bets. Wiggins going to be, probably his toughest test yet, but Wiggins has had success all year against number one wide receivers. You expect Chase to have some success here. Ravens, they've struggled on the offensive line. Lamar is banged up. The offense hasn't looked great. It's been the defense that's been carrying them, guys. They've found a pass rush. They've been bringing safety help, corner help to get to the pass rush, even linebackers. Trent Simpson's been doing well. But they brought in Jones from Tennessee, guys, and he has been a factor. Sack last week. Pressure. He's getting a ton of pressure. He's been great for the Ravens. Love to see that. They got him from Tennessee, I think, for just a draft pick. So great pickup there for the Ravens. They needed some help, and they're getting it from Jones. Excited. Ravens, after the bye, guys, their defense has been outstanding. Top 5 in most categories. Haven't allowed over 20 points in 5 of those games. Closest was 19. Now, I will stress, they haven't been playing the best offenses. I got to give you that. They were playing Chicago. Good offense there. They limited them to 16 points. I do have to stress that. And also Rams before the bye, limited to 17. So they're actually playing better one game before the bye. Now, tough, tall task for Burrow to come back to this game. You come back, you miss a ton of time. No Higgins. I don't see how Bengals could win this game, guys. I would actually even lean the Ravens -7 if I had to play the spread here. This is some of these Bengals D numbers. You expect the Ravens to score 30 plus here. I don't see how they don't. 32nd in total yards allowed, 31st in yards per play, 31st in rushing yards, and 32nd in points allowed at 32.7. How do you back the Bengals here, guys? I just don't see it. All I can say is yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. And that total 52.5, it's tough because let's say Burrow does struggle, right, on his return, and the Ravens continue to limit under 20 points, which they have in their last 5 games. 6 games now, actually. 6 games, sorry. The Ravens could score 40, right, 35 in that range. So you got to hope Bengals don't get to 20. That's tough, right? I do expect the Ravens minimum points scored here, minimum, would be 27. So you're taking a shot there. It is 52.5. It's high. It is high. It's just the Bengals, I don't see them stopping them. Like, there's no evidence it's going to happen. Does it happen? Maybe. But there's just no evidence that the Bengals are going to all of a sudden start playing good defense on Thanksgiving in Baltimore. I don't see it, guys. And then the question marks with Burrow. You don't know how he's going to come out and look without Higgins as well. And then the Ravens defense playing great. Excited for this game. It's the night game, guys. Plays Ravens, lean the 7 if I had to play it. Total, for the hell of it, I'm going to lean under 52.5. Don't play it, guys. Not confident there. Let's get into the famous Thanksgiving teaser. We've hit these at a very high rate, 5-1 over the years. Thanksgiving teaser, guys. Always 7-point teasers. Let's get into it. You've probably already figured it out, actually, right? I went over it. But let's make it official. 7-point teaser. The 2 favorite, you could do 2-team teaser too, but you got to pay up for that. I think it's minus 150. But my 2 favorite would be Ravens just to win the game. And then the Lions plus 4.5. And then the Chiefs plus 4. So those are the 3 that I would play. Ravens to win, Lions plus 4.5, Chiefs plus 4. The favorite 2 are Ravens to win, Lions plus 4.5. Like, yeah, I believe Green Bay and Dallas have a shot to win the game. Don't get me wrong, but I believe if they do, it's close. 3-4 point win. Right? Cowboys blowing out the Chiefs with that defense just doesn't make sense. I don't see how that could happen. And then Lions, Green Bay, like I mentioned, some concerns with the Green Bay offense. And it's hard to see a Green Bay like touchdown win on the road here. Possible, just low percentage, right? 15%, 20% range. I have that happening. Leave you guys with underdog. Well, it's not going to be an official underdog because I actually don't like any underdogs to win. We split last week, guys. We continue to hit underdogs at a high rate, around 67% on the year for you guys, free play underdogs. I gave out the Browns. They were able to get it done. Wasn't my favorite. I did like the Cardinals a little better. They brought them to overtime, right? So it was good value. They're at plus 125. They could have won the game, could have went back and forth. It was worth a shot on the Cardinals there. But we did split. If you played both, you profited. My favorite, guys, is between Packers and Cowboys. Flipping a coin, right? I would say maybe Cowboys because they're at home. Coming off a big win, but I don't think they get the win. But it's between those 2. Lean the Cowboys for the underdog play, but it won't be official. That will do it, guys. That will do it. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy Thanksgiving turkey. Always a great time for Thanksgiving. And the football just makes it, right? You're watching football even if you don't like football. Let's be honest. Like I always say, guys, bet smarter, know your limits. We will see you next week.